Welcome to part 2 of web. If you haven't watched part 1, that's where we had set up VS Code, GitHub, and a lot of other stuff, so I recommend you go watch that before watching this. But if you have watched that, then let's get started. So, a couple things to note. You're going to want to go open VS Code if you don't already have it open. A second thing to note is that we're not going to be writing normal HTML like you would be taught in a school environment, okay? We're going to be using a framework called React that is professionally used. Discord uses it, Hulu uses it, Netflix uses it, specifically Next.js. Basically, what we're going to be writing is very similar to HTML, but there is quite a few quirks and things that is different. This language is called JSX or TSX. They're both the same thing. And you can see that this is what it looks like right here. Basically, TSX is allowing you to write JavaScript and HTML in the same file, like basically without having to write a script tag, if you guys know what that means. But beside that, let's get started. So to actually run your program here, your website, you're going to want to head over to the button at the top. It says Terminal. Click on New Terminal. And inside here, if you're on Mac or Linux, it might look a little bit different, but you should see a cursor. If you, what we're going to write inside of here, type npm run dev, okay, and hit enter. So right now, this is what you should see on your screen. But if it says something about npm not being recognized as a commandlet or a command, then make sure you have Node.js installed. And if you have Node.js installed, restart your computer. And it should fix the problem. But right here, you can see that we have run our website. Okay, so it says we have started on 0.0.0.0, which you guys will learn later is the local machine, so basically your computer, and then port 3000. You don't have to worry about what that means right now, but what you need to do is head over to here, click on follow link, and it should open in your default browser. Okay, so it is going to take a while. So you can see it says build page slash, and it's compiling. So it is going to take a while to load up. So we'll wait a little bit. But while that's loading, I think it's should be good. But while that's loading, I want you guys to head over to the index file, okay? And to access the index file, we're going to go into the source folder, go into pages, and then index.tsx. Okay? If there's a problem about it saying that node module or a specific module has not been found, or that next is not a command, what you're going to want to do is open a new terminal, and then inside here type in npmi, and this will install all your packages that you need. But other than that, if this works, then you don't need to do anything. But go to source, go to pages, and then go to index.tsx. And you should be right here, okay? So if we go back to the website, it should load up, and here we go. This is the hello world, okay? So I have written a very basic website right now, just so you guys can see example code of what it would look like, okay? We'll be going through what each of these files mean later, but for now, we are going to go to the index page, okay? And this index page refers to this URL, meaning just slash nothing, okay? So what if I wanted to make like a slash about me, like I want to go to slash about. Right now you'll see that this is actually going to take us to 404, and that's because this is not a real page, okay? So what we need to do is create the page, and to do that we're going to hover over pages, click on new file, and then type in the name of the page you want it. So we want slash about, so we'll do about.tsx, okay? What we can do is type in export default function about, and then parentheses, and then after the parentheses use curly brackets, and then inside these curly brackets you want to type return, and then we'll return a div for now, okay? So I'm about to explain what all this means, but do this for now so that we can actually access the about page. So if we go to reload the page, you'll see that this message won't pop up anymore. You'll see that it's just an empty page, and that's because we don't actually have code for it. We just have an empty div, which is basically a box, okay? So to write some text, we're going to move this function down a little bit, and then inside this first line, type in import, and then curly brackets, and then type box with a capital B, because it matters, from @chakra/react, okay? And we're going to now replace this div with a box, and inside this box we're going to write some text, okay? So to get some text, we're going to also import the text component. Now inside this box we can type text, okay, closing bracket, so we'll see that right here. It will generate a closing bracket, and inside of these two we will write the text that we want to show up on the page. So this, or we'll call it about me, okay? So if we head over back to the website, it should auto refresh, and you'll see at the top left it says about me, okay? So there is a bunch of different little things with Chakra. Chakra is what's called a CSS library. So if we open up a new tab and go to chakra-ui.com and we click on get started, we can learn all about these types of components. So if I said I wanted to learn about the box component, I would go to the docs, type in box, and you'll see that it will give me all this information about box and how it's being used, okay? So a couple things to note. We made a new page, we made some text, and we made some Chakra components. So right now this text is a little bit small. Don't you get what I mean? Like, I kind of want it to be in the center here, but like be like big, right? Like increase the size, okay? And we don't want to use text. Instead, we want to use what's called a heading, okay? And headings are basically like headings in Google Docs if you've ever used it, okay? So instead of importing text, we'll go ahead and import heading as well. Change this to heading, and you'll see that the text will increase. And I like this size, so we'll keep it. But the issue is I still want it to be in the center here, okay? So what I can do is Chakra has a nice way of centering things. They have a component called center, and you can just replace that with box, so it centers this heading component, and you'll see now that it is center, okay? if you guys want to learn about these components, again, you can go to Chakra, look up the component in the docs, and it will give you information about what each one does. Okay. So that is very basic components. Okay. Let's say I want to write like a little poem. Okay. I am not very creative, so I'm going to look up poems. Poems, and we will take one from here. Okay. I'm going to copy all this text. Under the heading component, I'm going to want to write a text component and then paste all the text in. I'm going to tab this so it looks like the same. But when I go back to the page, you're going to see that there's an issue. And whoa. First of all, it's really long, okay? And second of all, it's not under the About Me. The About Me is on the left of it for some reason, okay? And I don't want that. I want the About Me to be below it, okay? So to do that, what this center thing does is it has what's called a direction. Okay, so for example, I'm going to comment this out, and this command I'm using right now, to comment out a piece of text, you click on hold control and click /. Okay, so this center tag right here, what it does is it puts its children, immediate children, which is basically second child. So these two components are children of the center tag. Okay? And this center tag basically puts these children side by side instead of on top of each other. So you'll see that says About Me is on the left, and then I'm the second child that's on the right. So if I wanted to put them, the second child under the About Me and keep it center, you'll see that if we head over to Style Props and hit Control F, type in direction, you'll see that this flex direction is going to like put whatever direction we want. So if we want a direction of row, okay, you'll see what I did is inside of this tag, I type direction equals quotation marks row. That is the default property, okay? If I wanted to put it on top of each other, I would do column. You'll see now, if I refresh the page, I think it's flex direction. My bad. There you go. So flex direction, you'll see column puts it on top of each other, and row puts it next to each other. There's two more. There's row reverse. So what it does is you'll see it flips them. And then there is column reverse. So what it does is it flips these two. So there's a bunch of different things, but you only really need to know about column and row. So those are some basic things, okay? Let's get into CSS, which is basically what I'm doing currently. Let's go back to our poem here. I'm going to delete this text because I don't need it anymore. Let's go to our poem. So our poem right now, you'll see that it is super long. It takes up the entire width of the page, and we don't want that, right? So to fix that, what we do is we set a maximum width of the text, okay? And these units, there's a bunch of different units, but we'll use pixels for now because it's the easiest. So we'll set it to 500 pixels. And you'll see now the maximum width it can take is 500. So if we actually measure this out, this is 500 from left to right, okay? I want to make it a little bit bigger, so like let's say 800. So it can take up some more space. There you go. And I think that's pretty good. But I want it to look like this, right? Like, what the heck? This is just one big paragraph. I want it to be spaced out like this. Okay? And to do that, what we do is we set what's called break lines. Okay? So a break line is just, we go angle bracket BR and then /. And you'll see that this is going to break the first text. Okay, and all you gotta do, we can break the second text and the third text and the fifth text right here. You'll see now we have a little space, okay? And we can do that with all of them. Okay, BR, 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 and a bunch of more BRs. Okay, so if we actually head over and keep it like this now, go back to the website, you'll see that boom, now we have it look like the actual poem. Okay, say I wanted to make this poem a little bit bigger. I just go over to the text component, go over to the right, add another attribute, call it font size, and then we can set it to a specific pixel size. So we'll do like 24 pixels, and you'll see it increases in size. If we wanted to change the color of the text, we just do color, and then there's a bunch of things. You can put red. You'll see that it changes to red. You can also put RGB values. So for red, it would be 25500. That's the same color. You'll see a little actual color picker up here shows up, and you can actually choose what you want. So it will be in hex. There's a bunch of different supported types. I would just use the color picker here to choose what you want. But yeah, that's the basis of Chakra, the basis of HTML, and just in general stuff like that. In the next video, I'll be talking about images and the public folder, which is right here. I'll also be talking about spacing, more in depth about text and components and all that stuff. But yeah, good luck. If you guys want, you can set a challenge for yourself to, without looking at the code, I'm going to take it off screen, challenge yourself to make it look like, hold on. Make it look like this. Okay. So I'm a full stack developer with a passion for building and designing software. But a little twist here, this bottom text is going to be red. Okay, so that's a little challenge for you guys. Obviously, you don't have to do it, but it's up to you. I'll see you guys in the next video.